Here we go.
Here we go. I know this is day one. I'm figuring that we're going to do some introducing, what everybody's hoping to get out of it, what you've done before. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the, do you have any big questions about law of attraction? Like how, that whole thing. So that's kind of where I'm going with it today. Because I want to get to know everybody in here. And I think it's going to be amazing to know the people, for other people to know the people in here, because man, I would have loved to have this when I was getting my stuff together, or when I first started, but even now, like no matter what, I would love to have this because it's so good to be able to talk to people who are trying to manage their business in the same way.
Right, exactly. It's just those you associate with and is what you end up doing or whatever that saying is, but
yeah, well, it looks like Judy's on here, but she's
Hi.
Hey. I could see your name in the black screen. You don't have to show yourself. It's okay. It's one of those things. I'm going to wait a couple minutes and let people get on because I guess in the morning in the money manifestation thing, I'm starting too quick. So I have to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, I was looking for it this morning. I was going to the group. I'm like, refresh. And then I forgot to ask you about today. I realized that later today.
That's okay. Yeah, that was okay. But I just I'm like, I don't know what changed. So I got Zoom because I thought, well, I'll go webinar on there. Because I knew if I tried to, that way maybe I could see the comments. Because that's been my struggle is I haven't been able to see the comments. And so it's not real time.
Do the webinar thing?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it distracts me more seeing the comments. I feel like I should get everything out and then see them.
So here's the thing. I just learned this morning from Anne, and she's supposed to tell me how to do it later. You don't have to have webinars to go live in Facebook. You can just do Zoom, and you're the main one. And if anybody else is on, they're like up at the top. But you don't want anybody on the Zoom, but you can just go live on Facebook on Zoom without having webinar.
No, you can't.
According to Anne, she just did
Anne
it.
who?
Anne hates Anne.
I don't think so.
Because I'm in her send out cards group. So we were on a live in a Zoom. I swear. Like I could share my screen and show you in my group when we don't have other people on.
Oh, you might have to show us all.
I'll go show you right now if you want me to share my screen while we're waiting.
Yeah, we'll wait for a couple more people because I have about, I think I have 17 or 18 spots now sold. So I'm waiting I'm sure the other ones will come on.
Okay, so this is her group, her send out cards group, and here is the Zoom. So I guess we were all on it. We're live in the group.
And she doesn't pay for anything?
She didn't do the webinar.
Well, no, you don't have to do she didn't promote people?
I guess, no, we just came in. She said that Gail showed her how to do it. So I'm like, well, I got to figure that out. So I'm going to work on that with her because that worked perfectly.
Maybe, that's weird. Okay. Well, yeah.
Anyway, okay.
I want to figure that out.
Me too. So that was my thing with her. I was like, send me the link. In fact, I'm going to message her right now. Did I unshare?
Yeah, we're back to just us.
I'm going to message her right now. And, hey, send me that video. Can you
Yeah, message her and find out. Because, I'm wondering if, I'm pretty sure that you have to have something paid on there in order to get, there is no option to go live on anything. So that'd be the question of how she's doing that.
Well, and she might not even know it when I asked her that, though, but. Okay.
All right. So, because let me see, can I go live on here?
That would be pretty cool if you could just go live on the group without start doing the whole webinar thing. Unless you do it from Facebook and you do go live.
You can't. I mean, I don't know
I
how
know,
you would
I don't
do
know
it.
how she did it, but I was like, how are you doing that? Because I'm like, I thought you had to have webinar. Did you do a webinar? And she said no. So I have no idea, but I'll figure it out because she said that Gail showed her how to do it. So
Okay, cool.
Gail did a video in the group that they're in. So I'll get the video from that group over to our group and into our group.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No, that's awesome. I'm excited to see that. So Val is on here now. Now we have 4. I think we're just missing like 15 other people, but it's the first day. A lot of people just signed up. It's going to take maybe a little bit of time to get into the routine. Some people just did it last night. So today came kind of quick because I wasn't, I didn't know I was going to launch when I did. I just was like, you know what? It felt right. So I rolled with it. Like I learned that's how I do things. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So we have about 17 or 18 people in here now. And I'm sure I'll sell out the other 33 spots or the other however many are left out of there. So today what I wanted to do, and I wasn't sure how many people would get on here, but was number one, find out what does everybody even like know about? Have you been running your business, your life, anything? Obviously, if you're on here, you know that I'm about law of attraction. So, you know, how familiar are you with it? Have you used it to implemented it anywhere in your life so far? Anybody can go.
Sorry.
We can see you now.
Hey.
Hey.
My computer is not cooperating. I have to go on my system.
Oh, I know. Mine does it too. Actually, really quickly, let's talk about that.
There's
but whenever you do
somewhere, it's driving me crazy. Like,
oh, somebody has feedback.
I wonder why. Is it me?
It's when you talk. Oh no, it might be your earphone, your earbuds. Oh no, you're muted. So let's see, is it still there? Nope, it's not you. Okay, we'll systematically mute people and see what it is. So I'm gonna mute you, Judy, for a second and see if it's back. Hang on. Okay, do we hear it now?
Nope, don't hear it now.
Oh, I think it's you, Judy.
Let me close my window. Okay. My window's on. I have a whole bunch of stuff going on in my backyard. Let me close that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So can you repeat your question, Rebecca? Because I was kind of focused on that. Now I totally forgot what your question was.
Well, I just want to go around and let everybody introduce themselves. Where are you at? You know, are you a realtor? Aren't you? I think that we're going to end up having mostly realtors in here, but I did have a couple just entrepreneurs and people sign up in different places in my world too. So, I mean, I may have some of that, but where are you? What do you do? And then how familiar are you with law of attraction? Like, have you used it to implement anything? Have you implemented it anywhere?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Who's first?
Whoever you want. You want to go. Go, Dawn. You're raring to go. Go, girl.
So, my name is Dawn. I see you mute Judy until she talks. Sorry, Judy.
And then when it's Judy's turn, we'll unmute. It's no
Perfect. Thank you. Because when I talk, it's when I get that feedback. My name is Dawn, and I found Rebecca last year, or maybe even the year before now, I think. And did the whole alignment, Align for Realtors twice. Yeah. And my whole life changed. Like, that literally was like an aha wake up moment for me. And I've been using law of attraction stuff ever since. So I feel like I pretty much know it at this point, to the point where if I'm not practicing, I catch myself and kind of know how to get back into that place. Not to say that I ever don't have those days where I'm just like down, but instead of ruining a whole week from a down day by just being so down and depressed on myself. Now I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have this day and get over it. And so it's just totally changed everything, my business and everything. Love it.
Okay.
Love
And
you,
you're a realtor, as you can see behind her. She's a realtor in New Braunfels, Texas.
Nice.
So there's one. Val, you want to go ahead and go?
Yeah, so I'm a realtor. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, okay.
I've been a realtor I'm getting ready to complete my 3rd year.
Okay.
The law of attraction, I've been studying it for the last 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't applying it to business.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was just getting through a personal situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the business has been growing, but there's always been this fear. So of not getting enough sales, not closing enough deals. And it's been constant throughout the whole 2 years. The first year I wasn't really worried about it. The last 2 years I was on my own. So I found Rebecca because I needed help. And I put a Facebook post out in a group, the Real Estate Ladies That Rock.
Oh.
And somebody tagged Rebecca.
Oh,
and that's how I found her, because I just didn't know what to do. I joined coaching. So I am with Tom Ferry. I had joined in just because I had no idea. Like, I just didn't know what to do. I've been with Brian Buffini before, and that really helped. And then my issue was sales, but then with sales, it comes confidence. And but then even with that, something was still missing. So I put the post out there to see if anybody else was experiencing what I was experiencing. And somebody tagged Rebecca. I went to her page. I'm like, oh my God, realtor, law of attraction, bing, this is it.
Hey, I'm glad you found me. Yes.
This is the missing link right here.
Yeah. I really completely believe that. I definitely have lived my whole entire business since I've been in business. Like, I got into real estate because I was like, oh, this is great. The possibilities are endless. This is like perfect law of attraction stomping ground. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, if you can think it and whatever, then you could create it. So I'm like, okay, well then I can have this exactly how I want it. And so that was like one of the driving forces for me to even get into real estate. And yeah, it just kind of happened perfectly. So I am super glad that you found me. So what kind of stuff have you been listening to, watching, reading in relationship to law of attraction?
So Esther Hicks, for one, all of her stuff, Eckhart Tolle, Wayne Dyer.
So you've been just looking it up, everything you can get.
Yeah. Everything I could get. Like, YouTube is full.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that we didn't know about all this stuff for so long? Like, and then you find it and it's like a whole new world.
Yeah, it's like you're reborn. I think Rebecca said something about I was manifesting things, but I didn't know that's what I was doing.
Yeah. Not like messy manifesting where
and I had this confidence that everything I asked for, I get. I didn't know what that really was or what it really meant until I found myself with zero confidence, because now I'm running a business, not working a job.
Yeah.
It was a whole new ball game, and I had to figure out how to build myself back up. And when I started studying the law of attraction, which was really, really weird to me, I grew up in church. So a lot of the things that happened, I could remember Bible verses that I didn't even know I knew. That's when I knew that there was a connection. Like, I've had this in me all along.
That's how I was too. Like, it gives me.
Where did I get this from?
I love it. Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. No, I love it.
It bridges the gap.
Yeah, and like I base a lot of, I mean, I feel like law of attraction is exactly like so much of it is really all intertwined. And so when people go, well, there's, what about God? It's like, well, this is what we're talking about, man. Like that's what
What we're talking about.
With
so.
it.
That's
Okay.
exactly what we're talking about. It's a language, just like we have so many different languages. It's another language, and everybody doesn't interpret it the same way. So now I feel like all those years in church didn't go in vain, because now I'm able to understand what I spent all my childhood. I understand it now.
Well, it's kind of like the 21st century God's way of communicating with us.
Right.
Like I read the Bible too, but there's so much in there that I was just like the whole Old Testament. I'm like, man, that's just awful or mean. And like, can I just read the New Testament and go from there? Like, but then when you do that and you realize like the New Testament and all of that part, that's everything that the law of attraction teaches.
Yeah.
And when I feel really bad, and it's once I took accountability that it was up to me to figure out these answers for myself, and not rely on all those beliefs of a lot of the people that I go to church with. It's up to me to find these answers and have the conversations with God that worked for me. And it was when that all clicked and I didn't feel the guilt anymore that I was able to apply everything. And then I've just taken off with everything since then.
Right.
Okay, let's pause really quick and let's get Judy on. Let's get Judy on real quick so that she can be participating. So
That's okay. Hi. Well, you see why I had the black screen on it, because I'm in my office, not the best lighting.
It's fine.
And no makeup or anything, no hair done. But I've been using the law of attraction, but mostly for relationships, and personal. I'm 2 years into the business as a realtor. So I've never really applied it to money, getting clients or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm kind of in this group. I just saw you. I just joined EXP last month.
Oh, cool.
And then I saw your post and I said, oh, this is perfect, because I do have another group that I've been working on getting rid of energy blocks. I'm learning more about crystals and what the power that they have to help you achieve certain things. And I've mostly been working on vibration level, and I've gotten that up to the point where a lot in my life is not going on, but you would never know it.
Right.
You wake up out of bed excited. I'm happy about my life, but I just need to, be able to pinpoint what it is I exactly want and just focus on that one thing at a time.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's funny. I had a coaching call with a client yesterday, and I said, hey, what do you want? Like, we were just popping on, and I was like, we were trying to set up what she's looking for, and she's kind of sat there for a minute, and she's like, well, I don't know. I mean, I want my business to. Well, I don't want to work in chaos. Oh, we're still in. Hold on. I'm gonna click. You can unmute and mute yourself whenever you want to, Judy. I don't know why we're getting feedback from you, but I'm just gonna mute you while I'm talking. Okay, you got it. And then whenever you want to talk, just unmute it. I'm not putting you in jail or anything. But yeah, when I ask her, and she's like, well, I don't want to work in chaos. And it's like, that statement was profound to me, because it's how most of us live our lives. We don't know what we want. We are more focused on what we don't want, because we think if we can get what we don't want out of the picture, we actually have what we want. But we don't realize we've been trained and focused and, brought up in a way where we're always trying to push against, it's like the war on drugs, the war on this, the war on that. Like, we're always trying to push against to get this perfect thing, instead of flipping it around and going, what do I really want? Like, on this call right now, and there's only a few of us on here, out of you three, and I know, Dawn, you've worked on this a little bit more, but, you know, what do you guys, does anybody here have a clear vision of what they want their business to look like? Because that's going to be, I mean, we're going to talk. So in this, and this is like me on some grassroots stuff, y'all. I have a lot to give. I know that I do, because I've been doing this for a long time. I've been a realtor for 16 years. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. If you've seen my story or read any of my stuff, you know, I have raised my son on my own. I homeschooled him from 1st to 11th grade, with real estate being the only gig that I had. I didn't have a backup gig, and then sent him off to college. He got a football scholarship. It was amazing, great, whatever. He went off to college, and I decided to kick up my business. And during that whole time, I was doing using law of attraction, not only to create the business that I wanted, but the life that I wanted to go with it. Because a lot of times we look at work and life as different pieces, when in fact it's still life, like it's all life. So for me, figuring out, so the whole idea of this is like, okay, let's you know, having a place where we can go back and forth and figure out what it is that we want, where the beliefs, because what I've found is that a lot of people that are teaching law of attraction, and so when I did the money manifestation thing, oh man, everybody and their mom wanted in there. I had like 300 people in a couple posts to join there, right? But when and because everybody wants the money, but what they don't realize is that it's the inside stuff. That's where you clear out the drama. That's where you're hanging on to the beliefs that aren't working. That's where you're hanging on to the stories that you're telling, the limiting beliefs that you're allowing other people to sort of vomit on you, and all of those mixed signals that we're giving. Because anytime, if your exterior world does not, I'm not saying you're not going to have issues or any problems or anything like that, but if your exterior world doesn't feel pretty good to you, then the goal is never to feel good in spite of what's going on. The goal is to feel good to create what it is that you want. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's kind of the whole goal of this. So on every third Thursday, we're going to train on something, whether it's like Instagram, how to build your Instagram, how to build your Facebook, how to attract clients that you love. I've taught a bunch of different classes in a bunch of different places, and I thought, what if I just put it all in here and you guys just get a ton of value from being able to hop on here and do that. So back to the original question, who knows what they really want their life and business to feel and look like? All right, let's hear it. Who wants to go first? Nobody.
You know?
What's happening?
Dawn, she's been through it already.
Dawn, you go first.
I don't mind being first. So I worked on my vision for a long time. So I used to be with Keller Williams, and it was always about the why. Like, why do you want this? And I used to sit there and think, man, what is my why? Like, I don't even know what that is. Now I have my why, and I know everything, and I have my vision all wrote out, which is up at the house. I look at it all the time. I envision it. I even did the video. Remember my video, Rebecca? But yeah, and you know what? It's really simplicity too. It's my vision is to have 40 agents under me at EXP, half here in Texas and half in California. If that happens, then everything else that I want will happen. Keep my real estate business going, and really just help those other agents grow their real estate businesses, kind of move it on to the next generation, you know. And I love the way that, I don't know if you guys are all with EXP or not, and that's in no way, I'm not trying to get anyone over here, but hey, if you want to sign, no, just kidding. Rebecca, if you want to sign up, call Rebecca. But I just love the platform that we have. I feel like I somehow, even through Law of Attraction, like was brought over here to this company, and I just love the platform and all that we have to offer. And my vision, happily married, my house fixed up. Those are all part of my vision. I have it all written down. And
those are the things that elicit so there's like the physical vision of here's what I want. And a lot of times that can hold us up a little bit because we can get stuck in the how it's going to happen. And then we can start to get frustrated with the how it's going to happen. So we say, hey, I want, for example, what Dawn said, 40 agents in my downline. And it's great to have that vision. And I'm all about like putting the physical work there. But then what does that feel like? So I'm always coming from the what's the next level. It's like the why, but then what's the feeling behind the why? Because the feeling is what's creating. The feeling is what creates. It's not that you could sit, if you like, I always give this example. You could sit and think about $1 million. Think about just think about it. Think about $1 million. Like that would be amazing. You probably get a little bit of feeling and that rubber hits the road when you think like, oh, I'm going to go get that money out of the bank. And it's like, okay, no, not really. I'm just kidding. I don't have that money right now. So the thing is that it's not the how, because that's what takes you out of it, right? As soon as you go to think that this is what I'm going to do. So finding the feeling place is like super important. And I know you've done that, Dawn. I'm not saying you haven't, but just as an example, that's something that comes up a lot is people go, well, I want this, this, and this. And a lot of times our goals become like these lists of sort of lack or reminders of it versus how do I want to feel? What does that look like? What does my day look like? What am I doing? Because there's a million ways to get there.
And I have to say, not being tied to that outcome, like I have that vision and that would be great, but I know now it's about enjoying the ride to get there. It's not, there's no hurry. I think I used to get hung up on the ride, like the road there, like is this, I want it now, but it's not about that. It is about stopping and being really happy with what you have now today and not being tied to that outcome.
Yeah. And that's the whole point. It's like we get very hung up on, because for instance, I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday and I said, hey, what do you want your business to look like? And she was like, well, I mean, I want to be busy, but I don't want to be so busy that I have no time. And I'm like, right. Yeah, but that's not the question though. Like, what do you want? Like, what's the end result? What do you want it to be? And because you can leverage out your time, we get so stuck in like, this is what I want. And then immediately go to, how can I get it? And then as soon as you can't figure it out, you bring back down what you want and go, that's not possible. Like it almost nixes it in your mind because you go, well, I can't have that. So like for Dawn, for instance, if you can find something that you think is reasonable that could kind of take you there, okay, cool. And for Dawn, it's, hey, I want to have residual income, so I want to have these many agents. But if you're tied to that and that's the only way you can get there, it makes it a lot more difficult than just being open to that end result. Does that make sense? So give me somebody else. Let's hear somebody else's vision.
Oh, I agree regarding the residual income. My dream for this business was to run it in such a way where I had time and money to go into, well, actually to follow my dreams that I've had, that I've not been able to actually devote my time to because of raising my kids, because of working. And one of the reasons why I left my first two brokerages was because they kept saying all this hustle, grind, and it was 8 to 12 hours a day that they expect you to do this. And then you're showing houses at night, and then you're doing open houses on the weekend, and you're doing all this. And I'm like, okay, I'm never going to have a life. And then I came across my mentor, Nolly, who's an EXP. And when he says he can teach you and train you how to run your business to the point where you'll have time for yourself and your family, that's all he had to tell me. And then once I saw the EXP video, then it was like, oh, well, that's the cherry on top of the sundae. You know, with the residual income and the bonuses and the stock participation. But I mean, he had me sold with just that I can do this and have a life, because I was just about to quit.
Right.
I was getting depressed.
Yeah, most people, like, I've never worked that way. Like, I've never had you know, I mean, yes, of course I prospect, but I do it when I feel like it. For instance, when, well, I mean, lots of different times when I've decided to put something together. I know Dawn took another class of mine where I was talking about how I just was inspired when I started getting my real estate mojo going after my son went off to college. And I thought, you know what, I want to kick my business up. And I made a real estate video. I didn't put any money, I didn't promote it. And I ended up getting like, you know, 40,000 views and wrote $5 of business off of it. And people go, how did that happen? And I go, energetically. Like, that is the missing key. It's like we keep looking for what to do, but if we would do the inside work, that's where it's at. That's where the good stuff is. So I don't expect the people who are on here, especially the people who have never worked the way I work, because most people are teaching law of attraction completely opposite. They're saying, focus on the Lambo, feel the Lambo, get the Lambo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
and then you will be happy. And the problem is that if that is what you're doing, if you're just looking for the Lambo and you get happy and you get the Lambo, and people, you see the meme, I'd rather cry in my Lamborghini than, you know, be happy, whatever. But, and it's true, but it's like you're on this perpetual rat race of having to manifest. And so it's a whole nother thing. So for me, I wanted to be able to, just to give you an insight on how I kind of laid it out, is when you get that vision together, the universe will bring it to you through the path of least resistance. So for me, I couldn't have told you after my husband went to prison how I was going to be able to, as the sole parent here, the only income, be able to homeschool him. It was something I wanted to do forever. I wanted to homeschool him for freedom reasons, not for religious reasons. And you could have never told me it would happen. And then all of a sudden there was this opportunity and it just fell in my lap. And it was like, okay, this thing happened. I had to go through a situation. When I get to the other side of it, it's like, the situation looked bad, but it was part of sort of the path of least resistance for me, because once I was out of that, then it was like, oh, now I can do real estate. I've never looked back. I got to homeschool my son, go to every one of his football games, you know, be the person who the booster president, raise all the money, do all the things. I just got to do all the things. I got to be the all-in mom I wanted to be. And everybody would have said that's not possible. But I'm telling you, this piece of it, the clarity of vision, and who on here has anybody, oh, I know Dawn has it, Judy and Val, have you guys downloaded the Energetic Hustle? Have you looked at it at all?
Yes, I did the first steps already. So
Okay.
Yeah,
and identified my 5 feelings.
Okay. So I think you'll get clearer and clearer. You got it too, Val?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think you'll get clearer and clearer as you go. This is going to help you really get your vision in line. So here's what I did with it. So for the to do or to be, those are feelings. So those are the energetic anchors. So that's what I'm teaching in the money manifestation course. But just in life, what are the energetic anchors, the emotional anchors that you want to set down for the day? Because the more that we focus there, because see, the universe doesn't know whether you have what you want or you're thinking about and evoking a feeling about what you want. You know what I'm saying? So like you could be thinking about, like, I've shared a couple times that I want to live half and half in New York and here, something I've always wanted to do. And you can feel that when I'm in that feeling place of New York, the universe doesn't know whether I'm in New York or not. Universe is just like, oh, give her that vibe. That's her vibe. That's where she's sort of vibrating. So give her that, give her more of that. And then you start to see the little evidence of it. So the same thing with these emotional anchors in the morning. Start finding the feeling place of love and I believe everything. I believe that if you just activated love in your heart chakra right here, if you just activated this part of your body and activated that feeling of love and held it for as long as you could in the morning, that would be enough to completely change your life. Like, I personally believe that because it's done it for me. And because it's either it feels good or it feels bad. There's different increments, different things that you can feel. For instance, you could be excited, or you could be overwhelmed. So overwhelmed is not at the bottom of the list. Actually, I will put in the group the emotional scale. And this week, I think it would be an amazing week to look and see where you guys are on the emotional scale. Like, where are you hanging out most of the time? Honestly, you got to be honest, not what you hope to be, not what, because a lot of people don't want to acknowledge because they think if they do, they'll create more of it. Get honest about where you are. So I'm going to post that. You're going to be surprised to see that overwhelmment is on the downward spiral. Even if you don't feel bad, you just feel a little overwhelmed, that is on the downward spiral. So it's like, those are the places where you stick your toe in that water and it's a fast moving current and you pop in the water and then it takes you away. It's a riptide. So back to the energetic hustle. And I know I'm popping kind of all over everywhere because I want to give you guys this information. The second piece of the energetic hustle is setting your intentions. And I think there's probably nothing more powerful than telling the universe, this is my intention. This is my intention for the day. This is my intention for my life. This is my whatever it is, setting your intention. So like for me, I like to say like, my intention is to give myself and others the benefit of the doubt. My intention is to see the signs that the universe is reflecting back to me very clearly, so I'm clear on what my energy is doing. I intend to call X, Y, and Z today. I intend to get whatever report off of MLS or, whatever it is. I intend to meditate. I intend to go for a walk today. When you can put business and pleasure, everything together can go in there. It's like, what does your day look like? And the more you start to do this, the more you're going to start to see it kind of come together, where it's not just business and life, it's like all of it together. And then the last piece is where it's going to help you with your vision, which is start writing out scenarios. What would feel good? What's another way that could come that would feel good? What's another way? Like, for instance, it would feel good for me if I had 40 people in my downline. It would also feel good if I got, I want to write a book. I'm writing a book. It's just a slow process for me because I want to write it myself. But, if I got an advance check to write my book, that would be amazing. If I filled up this membership to 100 people in a month, that would be amazing. If you know what I'm saying? And I can write out those scenarios, and that will start to give you an idea, and you'll be able to start to shape and mold what that feeling looks like at the end. What all the different, do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I've been doing that energetic hustle, Rebecca, for a year now. Like, I wrote on it and I just read it. I add stuff to it now, so it's like got more stuff added all over the place. And I find myself sometimes on the weekends I won't do it, and I'll find my energy kind of low, and I'll be like, oh, I have to go read through my energetic hustle to get myself back up. And it's literally like that now that I can flip it back. I love it. That is like the best gift ever. So if you guys haven't done it, go do it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I've literally used it every day for 20 plus years to pull up my energy, because that's the goal, is to get the energy, the average of it up. So have you had a chance to do it, Val?
I did it. So my question was, do you do it every day from scratch, or do you
So Dawn does it. I do it from scratch every day.
I ain't got time for that.
I like to write. I like the time. I have an hour every morning that I set aside. It usually takes me about a half hour to do it. But I love, I get so much excitement out of coming up with those scenarios. I don't want to read the same one. I want to come up with a new way. And I love it when the universe, when I get downloaded a new idea of how it could come, it's so exciting to me. So,
I just add to mine. I agree. New things do come you know, and I add to it. So now I have it, it's like all scribbled on. So I should
Yeah,
probably
well,
start.
when I say I write out a scenario, though, Dawn, I'm not writing like my package showed up on time. Like I write an entire page. Like I'm not writing, I write a whole scenario. How it happened, how I'm thankful, how this showed up at the perfect time. And you know what I'm saying? Like what the way that
That's of something you want to happen.
yeah, just something that will bring me the feeling, because the whole goal is not to come up with the ways this stuff could come. It's to elicit the emotion so that you're creating while you're doing it. Like
Okay.
it's to elicit the emotion so that anything that matches that vibration can come. So that's why I personally think that you need to write it out, because that is going to give you that many minutes focused in that way, and that's what's going to help you up level your energy day after day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you do all the steps every morning, and it only takes you about an hour?
oh, less than that, maybe. Well,
Okay.
between 30 minutes and an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't listen, there's a lot of spaces on that emotional anchor one, so I don't go through and find every single emotion for that. For me, what I like is it's almost like an all-in-one. I can have my to-do list done, you know, because that's kind of like the to-do is like, what am I going to do? How am I showing up? What do I expect from my day? And what do I expect that I'm going to accomplish today? Whether it's in feeling or in actual physical movement. And I always ask, like, I always expect to be surprised and delighted. Like I always expect the universe to show me something amazing or whatever. You know, you'll get into your own routines of what you write and what feels good to you. The big thing is to really connect with the words that you're saying or you're feeling or you're writing, whether you're just reading it like Dawn or whether you are doing the way that I do it, which is writing it out. Just connect with those words. And once you're done with the page, don't feel like you have to keep going. Write it until you're done, and you'll know. Like start feeling in your body, like as we move through the days and months and weeks, you're going to get a lot more clear on what you want to do and what you're forcing yourself to do. And anytime it comes to energy, always let it be in the flow. You know, always, like if I'm not feeling good, I'm not going to go and try to write my energetic hustle, because I know where my energy is. I'm probably going to either go on a walk. I like moving my body when I'm not feeling good, or I'm going to turn on the TV and watch a love movie, as me and my son call them. I'm going to do something that's going to make me feel good, and then I'm going to get back to it the next day or later on that night. But yeah, I write everything out. I like to write though, but I feel like it is a game changer when you start doing those scenarios.
Yeah.
You feel the energy start moving. Like that is the goal. When you can start feeling that energy start moving, the universe is hearing you. So it's like, yeah, I'll take that time every single morning. So yeah.
And just to be clear, like I do have an intentions book and I write in it every morning. I just don't redo the energetic hustle. So I've got the four pages that the energetic hustle is on, and I wrote my words in there, and then I wrote out all of the stuff that you asked for, and I go through that. But then I have my intentions book and I go in there and write every day. So
you just do a different thing.
Yeah, and I read too. I mean, I just added the energetic hustle to what
if it works for you, then do it. If that works for you, I just, that's fine. Nobody has to do it.
You have to find what works for you.
Yeah, you don't have to do it the exact way. All I can share with you is what worked for me and the process that I've used every day to literally level up my energy. And I wasn't in a great place when I started this, and that's just honest. Like I wasn't, I got law of attraction when I was 19. I literally felt like life was living me. I know everybody can relate. Like we've all been in those places where we felt like crap. We doubted ourselves. We didn't think we were enough. We wondered if we were crazy for even thinking we could have the life that we think we want. And I've been there. Like I still sometimes go, wait, what am I doing? So, this is never, and that one of the reasons that I wanted to really do this group is because it really isn't about graduating from this. It is an all the time thing that you're always reaching, because any vibration you've ever been at, you could always go back to, which is why, it's like you do these things and then suddenly you start kind of easing back into these old habits. And I think a group like this is so cool because it will remind you, like, no, because your body wants what it wants. Your body wants you to feed it the same emotions you gave it yesterday. And it wants you to do the same things you did yesterday so that it knows what to, so you literally have to get and be the bigger mind and say, no, I'm gonna do what I want to do today, body, and you're gonna come with me. So at least that's what I do. But yeah,
you're the expert. You've taught me everything that I do, and I absolutely love it. So
I know, yeah. And honestly, though, I mean, if whatever works for you is fine, but I would say give it a try and see what happens if you start writing out those stories. You don't have to do it every day if you don't want to. I love that kind of stuff. Like, I love coming up, like, it's thrilling to me. So I love coming up with a new thing to do, or a new appreciation list, or a new, something. It's just, I don't know. I'm weird, maybe. But I'm happy, I can tell you that much. So what else? Does anybody have any questions, any general questions about law of attraction? What you've heard, what you've tried to implement, whatever, just any general stuff. And then also, before we go, I want to hear from you. Okay, I'm going to mute you, but you can unmute, Judy. I want to hear from you guys. What kind of training stuff would you want to have? Because I have a ton of different options, and I actually have people that I can bring in too that can give you good content. I got connections. No, I don't really have that many, but I could definitely bring people in that can help. So what is it that you guys, what would be like the first one or two things that you're like, I'd really like to hear about this, Rebecca? And it could be business, or it could be spiritual stuff.
I think for me, as far as the business is concerned, it would be attracting more people, whether with using social media, because my limit is I'm trying to expand my reach, but I can't be at everything because I have twins at home so I have a very limited schedule. So I really need to leverage social media as much as I can to attract more people. The other thing,
talking about business? We're talking about
customers?
Okay. Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
okay.
Clients. And the other thing is that I'm very, very clear now on what type of business. So not the energy draining business where
wait a second, you're telling me what you don't want. Tell me what you want.
So where I'm at now is where I'm trying to go somewhere different. So that's my challenge now, is I'm trying to attract a different client base.
Which is what?
It is an over $300,000 client base. Right now I'm under 300,000. And
okay, what's average in your market?
Average in my market is, since Phoenix is so big, it varies. So one side is about 350, and the other side is about 270 to 3. So I built my business, and that's just happened within the last five years, where the average price has grown. So, but my business is still in the 250 and under range.
Okay.
So it is a struggle for me.
A struggle? Why?
Because I have to deal with bad credit. I have to deal with no money. Back when I started 3 years ago, down payment assistance was great. We could get it, and I could get closing costs paid. The business has changed, so that's not easy to do anymore. Phoenix is such a booming market that I'm in multiple offer situations with cash.
Right.
So cash clients that we still struggle. So I see that I need to expand my reach and to be able to reach more people, and more people that are in that price range to where we're going. So I don't get left behind. And I can't, when I first started the business, I was out. I was at everything. I was at every networking event. I was at everybody's everything. getting structure and organized, and kids, I can't be out there like that anymore. And that slowed me down drastically. So I want to use social media if I can.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's definitely something that I excel at, and I know other people who do, but I have made my business pretty much off social media. So we definitely can talk about ways to do that. I would, this week, I think something that would be really good for everybody is, because I heard a lot of lack in what you just said, is I would encourage everybody to sorry, the dog just came back in, so you can hear him breathing. Ziggy, go lay down. He's a big 100. I thought it was going to be a lab boxer mix. He turned out being a lab mastiff mix. So he's like 130 pounds of love and slobber and whatever. So, but anyway, I would encourage everybody. Will you take him back to the room with you? I would encourage, bring his water with him. I would encourage everybody this week to figure out, like you were saying, what type of business you want. And then let's go in and let's look for the lack and get it the hell up out of there and start to create a more empowering vision of what we want our businesses to look like. Because I think that is a really, really amazing starting point that's going to help you not only it's going to help you in social media, because you're going to be a lot more clear, because it's not just $300,000 people, because some of those credit people might be okay if they didn't do X, Y, and Z. So when we dig deeper, we can figure out, like, I have people who are credit challenged, but they just became a pipeline for me. So then it actually worked out. Like, maybe I'll sell them a house, or maybe I won't, or maybe I don't want to sell them a house because it's a pain in the ass, but maybe I want to refer that business out. So I don't want to necessarily lose the business, but I want to refer that business out. So it's more of like this high level thing that we want to look at. Like, how do you want, right. So how do you want your business to look? How do you want it to feel? And then try to stay on I want the thing that you want versus I want to not. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like I want this. My business looks like this, not my business does not include, or I do not want this.
I do have vision, mission statement, and goals all written out.
Okay, cool.
And I'm a relationship person, so my business is pretty much all referral based. Okay. And what presence I have on social media, I get a lot of referrals from. So I get referrals from people that don't actually buy a house with me, but refer me to other people that do.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
Expanding that is something that I want to do, is just to keep expanding that. And that's where I don't know what to do. Like, I've done it. I feel like I've taken myself as far as I can take myself with what I know.
Right.
And
that's all right. We have more coming. So yeah, I get what you're saying. You just want to expand some more.
Yeah.
You want to get a little further reach. You want to get a little better quality client so that maybe you can have the ability to refer out.
Yes. And I always say I'm forever grateful for the ones that I have, because they're loyal. They still continue to refer. The real part of the business is that you have to, as a business person, you have to be constantly growing your business. Mm-hmm. So we can't stay stuck, and we can't get comfortable in one, because real estate changes so fast and so rapidly. So that part I've identified, and it's like, okay, I got to expand.
Well, here's what I think, and this is like been true for me, because I got in the market right before the crash. So a couple of years before the crash. The crash came, people were like, "What are you going to do, Rebecca? It's going to be a crash. You don't have any other income." Obviously we lived on our own and all of that. So, maintaining your house, do this, do that. How are you going to do that? And I feel like when we go about it from the outside, we start to chase these things and we go, well, what am I going to do? Because I don't want, if I don't, then I'm going to get stuck. And if I don't, I'm going to do this. And what I believe is that when we lead with our energy, that you end up, Dawn had to go. When you lead with your energy, you end up putting yourself in positions where you almost don't even have to work at it. For instance, you have to work at it energetically. You always are going to have to. But for instance, when it went down, I happened to be approached by my neighbor who said, hey, why don't you come to my company? And I was like, okay. It was a small company, small brokerage. I was at a big brokerage. I was tired of paying the high fees and not getting a lot of support and stuff. So I was like, I'll go over there. So I go over there, then the market crashes. And then she comes to me and she says, hey, well, I think we're going to merge with another company and we're going to actually start selling REOs. Do you want to do that? And I was like, well, yeah, sure. That'd be great. Well, we get over there and she says, oh, well, you're not going to sell REOs. My friend and I are going to be the ones, because she was the broker at the other company. She's like, my friend and I are going to be doing the ones selling the REOs. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. Like in my mind, it's like, okay, well then next, like what's the next thing? Something will show up. And then they ended up failing. They ended up not getting approved. So I ended up becoming an REO agent, and it just kind of fell in my lap. And so I did that for 3 years. So I just said that to say, like, don't get too caught up. Like when we start looking at the outside and trying to implement all that how, that's a thing that can kind of sort of trip us up. So
yes. Because it's that fear. It's fear-based.
Yeah. Oh, it's all fear. And there's so much of it, honey. We are force-fed fear in this business and just in life in general. We are force-fed fear for our whole lives.
Yep.
And so getting out of that, stop moving out of fear is a huge, huge thing. So we'll definitely talk about social media. Judy, I see you still here. Do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, well, basically, what Val said, I want to get comfortable actually, reaching out to people, on social media. I know I need to revamp my Facebook and my Instagram. I do have pages and they're horrible. So I want to work on that. I want to work on my website also. I just signed up for KV Core.
Okay.
And I want to also be able to send out ads, get landing pages, get people's information, and just communicate with them so they get to know me, through newsletters, and also be able to put videos on my where I'm talking to people about the market or anything in their community,
Right.
just to make me, I guess, be more approachable, where they'll feel comfortable talking to me.
Right. So the way that I run stuff for my business is I do pretty much everything on my personal page. I do a lot on my business page too. And some people are funny about it. If you want to do it on your business page, that's fine. My theory generally about life is like, hey, if I share on my personal page that my husband went to prison for a crime he didn't commit, by the way, and people don't want to be friends with me, then I need them to not be friends with me. Right. Because we tend to try to please these people in business and this person over here and this person over there. And in the meantime, we've lost ourselves. And so I'm a huge advocate of just, let's be ourselves on social media. Let's attract our tribe and let's let them refer us the business and be the fans that we want them to be. Like, let's be authentic so that we connect with other people. So we'll talk about all that. Like, we definitely will get in. Now, the specifics of what you're talking about is more the how. And yeah, we'll talk about that, like how you're going to show up on your social media, strategies for that. We definitely can go through.
But what you said also is what I want to also, like, just be my authentic self and attract clients that resonate with who I am.
Yeah. That's the goal, because at the end of the day, if you can get, 100 people that just know, love, and trust you, your business is going to do pretty good.
And that's pretty much what I want.
Yeah. So that's the whole goal of all of this. And I think once we start to sort out our energy, once we start to get our authentic with our energy, things start to look a lot different. I see somebody hopping on. Valerie, you are catching the end of the call. I am so sorry. You're going to have to go back and watch it. I see her on here, but she's not saying anything yet. But anyway, so we'll talk social media next week then, if that's what people want to talk about. We'll do Facebook. We'll do Facebook and how to kind of start being more ourselves, maybe using video. I'll come up with something Facebook next week.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
I have a lot of different resources for that, so it won't just be one time. We can do that's going to be an ongoing thing. Social media is something we'll probably cover once a month, probably, because everybody needs help with it, and it's always changing. So we'll definitely do that.
And will this
All right, y'all.
call be every Thursday?
Yep, it's going to be every Thursday, and the training is going to be on the third Thursday of the month. So it's 12 p.m. EST, and the third Thursday is the call will be taken up by the training. And so over time, this will grow. I plan to have content, like actual written stuff, exercise, all sorts of stuff. But I just thought there's literally people that I personally know charging $296 or $300 for something exactly like this. And I'm just like, I'm going to do it so amazing. And I'm going to get a huge group, like a grassroots movement of people who just want to work, want to lead with energy. Like that's my big idea. So I'm excited to have you guys here.
Yay. So happy I found you.
I know, me too.
I am too.
So happy.
I know, me too. All right, guys. Well, until next week, I'll see some of you in the 21-day manifestation tomorrow morning and every morning for the next however many days.
Yes.
So.
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right. I'll post this in the group, Valerie. You'll be able to watch it.
Ugh, that means she's going to see me. Ugh.
Oh, no, you look fine. You're fine. Don't worry.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.